It's Wednesday, it must be Toastmasters Leadership Club. Please rise and join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Have a seat. And while sitting down, please take your mobile smart units and silence them. Not even vibrate, because that makes a noise. Thank you. Please. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Ladies and gentlemen, our club's mission statement is, we develop and empower members to communicate and lead effectively in Toastmasters in their personal and professional life and in their community. Ladies and gentlemen, one more last time, show me your manuals. Show me your manuals. Very good. Let's take your competent leadership manual if you have a role tonight and exchange this with someone so that you may be fairly and equitably evaluated for how well you're going to fulfill your role. And on that note, it is my pleasure to introduce to you your Toastmaster for the evening, a distinguished Toastmaster herself, a scientist extraordinaire, Madame Mercy Del Rosario.
Thank you, Eddie. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and do we have any guests? Oh, and it is...
Do I introduce myself?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello everyone, my name is Forrest. I'm the Arizona PA team, and I'm here to see the Conference Leadership presentation.
Okay. Welcome you.
Hi, my name is Jason Matthews. I'm from Uptown Toastmasters. I am you guys' new Area D30 area governor, so I just stopped by to check you guys out and introduce myself.
All right.
We welcome you. The theme for tonight is Listen, Learn, and Lead. Did you notice these 3 L's? Those 3 L's are needed to be successful in life. I said in life, not just Toastmasters. Because in everything that you do, you have to listen. Our physical appearance, we got 1 mouth and 2 ears. That means you have to listen twice and talk once. Learn. While you listen attentively, if you have a proper frame of mind, you will be able to learn. So when you learn, you develop those skills and gain experience as you practice it. And then you will, the third one is lead. Then you will have the ability to lead. Just like the mission of Toastmasters Leadership Club, to provide leadership to help the district, to establish its president's distinguished district. So with that, I would like to, Tyree is not here, the invocation. Who's willing to do an invocation?
Do the humors first and then offense.
Okay. I would like to call on Eddie for the humor. Please welcome Eddie.
This young priest was assigned to a parish that's been well established for many years, and the pastor of the parish has been there just as long. And he would dawdle around the parish between the church and the rectory, which is where the priests live, and the parish grounds. And this young priest is just brand new, newly ordained, and newly assigned to this parish, and he's getting to understand and know how the parish operates and where everything is, where every doorknob opens up into. And he checks the duty roster, and he sees that for the first time he has to hear confession. And he's a little nervous. So he goes to the old pastor and says, "Father, I'm really nervous about hearing confessions. This is new to me. I really don't know what to do." And the old man says, "Don't worry, my son. You'll be just fine. You'll go into the confessional. I'll come in a little bit and I'll look like I'm praying, and if you get into trouble, I'll bail you out. Feeling quite relieved with that, the young priest decided to accept the duty and hear confessions. Now, if those of you who are Catholic know that anytime there's a new priest assigned to a parish, is usually the most popular one because he's not heard everywhere. And their voices won't be recognized. And as luck would have it, this young priest was bombarded. People after people after people after people for the whole entire hour. And he comes out ragged and tired and sweating and sits next to the old priest and says, "Well, Father, how did I do?" "Well, my son, you did very good. But there's just one thing you need to remember. When people are telling you your deepest, darkest sins, you never lean forward and say, 'No shit.'" Madam Toastmaster.
Is that word admitted in church? And now I would like to welcome Tyree for the invocation.
Thank you, Mercy. Fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests, dignitaries, in fact, we have royalty in the house. First, I want to give thanks to Paula for helping me out with today's invocation. But I know today's theme is to listen, learn, and lead. And I want to read you a quote from Huey P. Long, who was a famous politician in Louisiana. He says, "It ain't enough to get the breaks. You got to know how to use them." So, in light of today's theme, to learn what and understand yourself and the situation you're in. It's to listen to what other people have to say, to learn the situation that you're in and the people you're around. And then lastly, to lead where it's appropriate. And leading can be being the listener, being the warrior, being the visionary, or being the teacher. But whatever it is, use those aspects so that you know how to get the breaks and use them properly. Madam Toastmaster.
Are you guys warm up yet? I would like to introduce our general evaluator, Justin.
Thank you, Mercy. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. And actually, we have our Lieutenant Governor of Marketing here, Steve, today. Let's welcome Steve. Thank you for joining us tonight. We have a couple openings, although I think Mercy's been looking at filming those quickly here. The timekeeper is not Annalie, it's Helen. And then grammarian is Joy. And you're still all counter ready?
Yes.
Okay, great. So as a general evaluator, my duty is to provide constructive feedback at the end of the meeting. I've got quite a bit of tasks at hand, but I can't do it myself. I have a whole team of people to help me. My team consists of the owl counter, the grammarian, and the timer. Madam Timer, tell us what your duties are.
I'm the timer for tonight, and my responsibility is to help everyone stay on time. I'll show the green color when you reach your minimum time for a speech, and the red color for when you reach your maximum allowed time, and the yellow will be for during your midway between your minimum and the maximum. And I'll report everyone's time usage by the end of the meeting.
Thank you, Helen. And our grammarian Joy, please stand and let us know what your duties are.
I'm the grammarian tonight. I look for those common misuses of the English language And I also look for gems of any speaker and point them out at the end.
Thank you, Joy. Do you have a word of the day?
Oh yes, our word of the day is erudite. Erudite, thank you. I was going to ask, how do you pronounce it? It was picked out. It means characterized by great knowledge, being learned or scholarly. It's an adjective. That the erudite professor was the most loved professor on the campus.
Thank you, Joy. Let's hear Eddie, our odd counter.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. My job as odd counter is to listen for those verbal clutches, the unnecessary fillers, ums, and restarts. I have no clicker, so we're lucky there tonight. Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Eddie. And at the end of the meeting, we will give our reports. Madam Toastmaster.
We have two speakers for tonight presenting their HPL. HPL is High Performance Leadership. It's one of the requirements to obtain your ALS. ALS is Advanced Leadership Silver. Our first presenter is Joan, and she will discuss to us her experiences during the Toastmasters Leadership Institute as a dean, 2014 to 2015. She will be presenting her vision and values. It's number 2 of the HPL project. The timing will be 10 to 15 minutes presentation. There's a 5 to 10 minutes question and answer, and 5 minutes for the evaluation wrap-up. Did you get that, Helen? Please help me welcome Joan.
Welcome, distinguished Toastmasters and fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. This is number 2, and how I arrived here, I'm going to give you some insight. What is my passion that got me here? Share my vision with you, our mission, our core values, and wrap up with the team essence. The Toastmaster Leadership Institute. My passion. How did I get here? I looked at TLI when I was an area governor. And the clubs were not wanting to send their officers to TLI. Why? Why did they not feel that they needed to go outside the club? We don't need to do that. We just stay in our club and be happy. That was the wrong answer. I saw more value in the clubs that were sending their members to TLI, because they brought things back that built the club up and helped the club to be distinguished. Select distinguished. Why not reach for presidents distinguished of all clubs? Why limit yourself to just being a club? Bring it up. How can we do that? That's my vision. That's how I got here. Toastmasters Leadership Institute is a biannual. I see it as continuous improvement. Because in my vision, I have a booklet, a handbook for Division 57, District 57. And TLI, our Toastmaster International, has changed our directives. We are now club-centric. Why is that? Because we're still losing clubs. We don't want to lose clubs anymore. We want them to work as a team, to have synergy, to have action, to want to do better. And the club officers and the members go to this training so that we can promote those things for them. It gives them creativity and enthusiasm, make them think, how can I take, that's a good idea. I'll take that back to my club. And the educational environment, we want it to be just flowing. They go from class to class. We don't want any glitches or too late for this class or late for that class. We want it to move quickly, slow, and in one respect, quickly, and in another respect, moving slowly, that they can get from one place to the other, be connected. And in the end result, we want them to embrace TLI. We want them to anticipate TLI. We want them to put it on their calendar. Ooh, it's coming up. I want to be there. This is the place to be. And to know that they can elevate their clubs to the highest distinguished level. With the information that they get from TLI, it will generate this ongoing energy and synergy. That's my vision. Our mission? Excellent training, relaxed learning environment. To all the district members, leadership growth, inspiration, courage, encourage club success at the highest distinguished level. Looked at the core values. And in one item, you can say, look at Toastmasters values altogether. Integrity. Do what we say we're going to do. If someone calls you for help, help them now. If we respect all our members, time and their needs. What are their needs? Find out their needs. Be respectful of their time. Make it worth their while. If it's not worth it, they're not going to want to come back. And service to our members. I mean the presenters. I mean the chairs, the TLI deans, the members themselves, the room monitors, everybody who has anything to do with TLI. Even when you send out information to get them to come, be respectful of their time and their needs, and serve them. Provide the highest quality presentations. If you don't, they're not going to want to come back. We want them to embrace TLI. We must, absolutely must, give them the best quality. I mentioned this before, the seamless education environment. Why? Why seamless? We don't want the members to worry about anything other than coming to TLI, learning, and networking. Learn from others in their networking. There are so many opportunities. We want to open the door for them. Communications must be clear, concise, and valid. Check, have someone else check. Make sure you're not sending out untrue information. It should be clear how to get to the parking lot. It should be clear what road to turn down. It should be clear what date and time to be there. Clarity, conciseness, and valid. Have the users check it before you put it out there. And the TLI chairs, the deans, build teams. Don't just have one level. It's too much work for one person. And you need a team, you need a village. You don't want to just leave one person running all over here and there and lose out on what the team is really trying to do. Cross-team communications? What is that? That means, Tyree, if you are the chair for registration, I want you to work closely with Randy over there because he is the chair of hospitality. And Paula's the chair of facilities. All three of you should be working very closely together, like a well-oiled machine. We'll meet and work as a team. Most essential is to be a team. Here it is. This is the essence. Everything counts. Everyone counts. Attitude counts. Have fun and smile. Questions? Yes, Steve.
I saw a lot of preparation in that, and one of the things that'll do you well is I saw preparation and passion, and you have a lot of the passion for it, and one of your goals on this should be to transfer the passion to the people that are on your team, because if you can do that, it's going to be successful, because I can see that, particularly in your vision, where you talked about getting people to anticipate TLI, to put on their calendar. I think you didn't actually say it, but you want to put on their calendar before it's even announced that, at some point there's going to be TLI and we're going to go. So I encourage you to figure out a way to transfer your passion so the people on your team have it.
Kyrie.
Joan, for this Q&A, one thing I would like this, I heard your vision, but could you paint a picture of what that vision looks like? Give it some shape, some color, and some depth. I mean, I heard the words, but tell me, what is it gonna look like? I mean, how are we supposed to feel, or how many people we're gonna be? Can you add to that? Yeah, flush it out.
That's not a good term.
I won't repeat Pauline.
What I envision is that college, that setting, that educational setting. I would like to see them move to a different area of the college where it's more open and flat, like a cafeteria type setting where you can break out easier. And there's more room for networking. I would also like to see our members be able to sit down while they eat meals. There's never enough seating, and they're always standing or sitting on wet grass. I would love to see seamless moving between classrooms. Venues for the first session and the fourth session. Easily moving from one to the other. Picking up a bottle of water if you need it as you walk from class to class. Or leaving the first session. To have enough food energy so the brain energy is connected.
One real quick.
Yeah.
How many people, roughly, how many people do you think?
I
If you
think
did the
we
math,
had
you could
about
say-
250 and maybe 100, it was 160 some odd got actually certified.
That's right.
I have a question, it's not because you had more people than that.
I know, but they didn't have the card at the last session.
Well, those
and
are,
they got-
those are maybe the ones that got credit, but you had more people attended.
Yes, we did.
I have a question.
Yeah,
Two things. Number one, I was on the campus last week and the new cafeteria is just finished, so we'll be able to hopefully use it the next time. It's very nice. Can you tell us a little bit about how you communicated your vision and mission to the members of your team and encouraged them to adopt that going forward?
the first go-round, because we did not have much time, and it took me quite a while to get this vision and mission out of here and onto paper, computer. I communicated individually and gave each person a vision and what was in it for them to join our team. And I had people on the phone. Yes? Well, can I get back to you in a month? Oh, no. How about a little sooner? Oh, a week? No. How about today? And I had people join the team in right then and there. And I think relaying what I wanted out of it and what they would get out of it turned them around quickly. And so that was your question there, right?
So you would consider communicating that vision and having them adopt it to be successful?
Yes. And I believe that one of the things that I did was I told them over and over and over in conversation to remember our mission is to our members. We serve them and we need to nurture them through TLI. And once you continue to remind them of those things, as well as having told them in the beginning, that team really worked and did the things that we wanted done on their own. I can hardly even take credit for anything except reminding them what the mission was and where we wanted to go. they were just doing, yes,
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your sentence there. Do you see, there are a couple of yes and no answers. Do you see a higher number of officers coming to the next TLI to be trained?
I visualized
The yes or no?
droves
Okay,
of
so
people
the goal
from
would
every
be
club.
to see maybe 300 to 350 people coming instead of 200?
400.
Okay. So that, I think that's a good thing to have in there. And did you have a full complement of assistants for this TLI? And are they going forward and going to be helping at the next one?
Okay,
So first of all, did you have a full complement of helpers?
no,
No?
no.
Did the helpers did you talk to the helpers about staying on with you and serving for the next TLI? To continue your mission and your vision with this, so you don't have to retrain a whole bunch of new people.
But once you've done it once,
You know?
you need someone new to step in and take that role.
So you're gonna have to
not-
train a whole new group of people
Well, see,
for the next TLI.
Well,
you'll actually just, you're talking about people to mentor for the TLI after the next one, right, to take over. And I think she's talking about the core group that supported you this time, will they come back, or you got to do this all over again?
well, we're having our wrap up this Friday, and I will ask that question. Some may be burnt out because they didn't get enough members on their team for the chair. Whatever chair it was, maybe they didn't have enough people on their team. And they did a lot of the work themselves.
So part of your goal then would be for those people to start sooner, now that you know.
Get
when your
a
next
team
TLI is,
together.
Get on this sooner so that you've got a full complement of team members.
Right.
Would that be a goal of yours?
Yes.
for this next
One of the things is with the handbook, roles and responsibilities are documented. You give them a sheet, it's got everything that they need to do and when to do it. Yeah.
This is real quick, tying into what Paula just said, and one of the dimensions is persuasion. So what are gonna be your persuasive means, words, ideas for more members to come, along with persuading that team, to stay with you? Because I hear Steve say you got the passion, but it's gotta be persuasive. I'm just curious.
We are all members of Toastmasters. Without our passion for TLI, we cannot instill it in anyone else. We need to show the rest of the district that there is passion for TLI and allow them to start grabbing on as the train is going down the track. Is that what you're looking for? Start?
Did you say time or did you call it? Okay.
And then drop off. Follow.
Did you have a wrap up or was
No.
just Q&A?
That was the Q&A, and then the wrap up is, for the agenda, it's you, right?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Well, after you wrap up.
Yeah, you can make a closing statement, wrapping up, if you have.
I think that putting our energies toward all the areas of members, everything counts, everyone counts. And to do it where we have fun, and we show that fun in our smile, then members will want to come back.
like to call on
2 minutes.
2
2
minutes.
minutes.
2 minutes. 2 minutes time, please. Thank you.
We do not have forms, so hopefully if you've got some extra pieces of paper, maybe Sharon.
Oh, does anyone have a paper?
I'll take one, sure. Thank you.
Time.
Time.
Please help me welcome Paula to lead our evaluation for John.
Thank you very much, Mercy. And congratulations, Joan. To give everybody an overview of what I will be doing tonight, I'm going to be evaluating Joan's presentation, not the message that she gave. So the Q&A was the chance to talk about what she told us, whereas the evaluation is more geared towards how she presented that information. So I'd like to start out, first of all, and really compliment you on your organization, helped very nicely by your visuals, clean, easy to read, not a lot of information, and it kept up with your presentation as you were going through it, so nicely done in that sense. Okay, I was writing that note. When you came to the mission and the vision, what I heard was kind of an extrapolation of what you had on there. I would have liked to have heard you just read the mission, just read the vision, and then go into some explanation of what it was about, because in that extrapolation I got a little lost in where you were taking us with that. So I think it would help clarify those two paragraphs, they weren't all sentences, to have that worked. You mentioned something about the list of who was going to be of service, and you gave us a couple of names, but then I think you got a little, you forgot some and put some in. You might want to organize that list of who the TLI was going to be of service to by saying from top to bottom, from the, not to say that anybody's least important, but from just the simple helper to the person coordinating the whole thing, to that list would help. Good vocal variety, it really showed your passion and your interest in this subject. Good eye contact, I saw you looking at everybody around the room, so that was very nice. This time, on the hand clicker, you were very good about not using it to point with, but it also just stayed down here, and so you only had one hand. And I was watching to see how much time was going by between when you changed a slide and when you next changed it. And I think that you could have changed it and set it down and then have both of your hands available for gestures. And then pick it up again and use it. All in all, I think this was a nice presentation. I think that you definitely improved from the first one that we heard. It was a little more clear and a little more concise about what you were trying to say. So with that, I will open it up to the audience for any other evaluations of this presentation. Tyreek.
3 quick points. First is that is not biannual, it's semi-annual. Biannual
Yeah.
is 2 years.
Uh,
But that being said, I really like, when you said respect, integrity, I can't remember what the S was.
Service.
Service. You put it in, you can make an acronym out of that. RISE, respect, integrity, service, excellence, do that. But I really like your theme and the energy that you brought with it. Memorize that and start using that repeatedly with your team and everybody else. That really works. And yes, your eye contact along with your deliberate pace was really, really good. So that's all I have to say.
Any other comments, Randy?
I want to add that in discussing your mission and your vision with the people that are working with you, you can continue to tell them and tell them and tell them. I would also encourage you to focus on what is the benefits, what are the concrete benefits that you can quantify to the people that are involved. It helps them to open up to why they're doing this, as it gives them a vision, and it gives them a focus on why they want to embrace that vision.
Eddie?
Yeah, very briefly, it's not a clicker, it's a presentation remote. And picking it up and putting it down will be, I disagree,
Oh,
Paula,
I'm
is
sorry?
distracting.
Okay.
Just learn to keep it palmed in your hand, practice with it, and as you gesture, you can keep your fingers curled around the remote and work with it as you advance your next slide, or pause your slide, or black out the presentation, whatever the case is, depending upon your gestures. You can simply drop your hands down, or use them as necessary. But you don't need to direct it to the laptop or to the screen. I gotta say, on the plus side, on the big plus side, you kept your eyes on this monitor and did not turn back. You did not give us your back to the presentation at all, and that's a kudo for you. Nicely done.
Nice hot hand. Joy?
Thank you. I really liked your use of the English language and the amount of verbs and different adjectives you use. And it helps us create a better picture, paint a better picture. But when you do that, I did it too, it's also nice to bring them home with a tangible fact or figure, because then you paint this beautiful picture and then you can bring it home with some sort of something that everybody can see tangibly and all agree on. And yeah, great.
That's all the time I have, so I'll return control back to our Toastmasters.
Our second presenter is not a member of our club, but our club welcomes everybody who needs to present for their achievements. And it's exemplified by Mary. This is her last presentation with the HPL project. And her HPL project is area governorship. She's discussing the Division A, Area 29. Her last presentation is analyzing and presenting your results. Please help me welcome Mary.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Members of Toastmaster Leadership Club, distinguished guests, and my dear guidance committee.
Beg for mercy.
Mercy, that was Eddie who wanted to chop me last time as an evaluator. That's why I beg for mercy today. But my name is Mary Verghese. I am here to present the final item in the HPL project, which is called Analyzing and Presenting Your Results. For those of you who have not seen my earlier presentations, my HPL project was to be the area governor. The area governorship was my HPL project. I have already presented 4 of the items in the HPL project, and this is of course my final. Today, I'm going to be talking about what have I gained from being an area governor. As an area governor, I was serving Area 29 in Division A. As you can see, there are 5 clubs. All of them are based in Fremont. Fremont all the way down. Unlike the clubs that you are used to, these clubs are fairly, I should say, baby clubs. They are just 10 to 15 years old. And for somebody like Randy, who has been in Toastmasters for years, we are still babies, so it was a challenge for me to take this role as an area governor. My vision as an area governor was to inspire, motivate, and energize every Toastmaster in my area. Basically, no Toastmaster left behind was my goal. My mission was to provide collaborative and an enriching learning experience for all clubs in my area with the core values that I really always have been kept in my heart, which is to service, support, be consistent, and always be transparent wherever I am serving. How did I serve my area as an area governor? What were the activities for my term? It started in June 2013 and ended in June 2014. First and foremost, they say, as an area governor, all you have to do is visit your clubs, which I did, of course. All you have to do is visit your clubs at least 2 times. I did those. However, for me, it was not enough. I think I wanted to go back to them as many times as I could because I was dying to hear them, see them, speak to them, and understand them so that I could serve them better. All in all of the clubs that I had in my area were visited and within the due time. After I am supposed to visit my clubs, I'm supposed to give reports, which is called the Area Governor Report. And those of you who have not been an area governor before, it looks like a 5 to 8 sheet report. You have to understand what the club is like, the club culture is like, what does the club need, and how you can improve the quality of the club. So it's a series of questionnaire that you have to answer and provide results to Toastmasters International. All of them were submitted on time without any problems. Next was to serve the club officers by providing them opportunities to get trained. We had 2 officer makeup trainings during the entire term. One was in San Leandro and the other one was in Fremont, and they were all done both with the help of Division A Governor Yulma Gutierrez and myself. Speech contests are activities that some of our Toastmasters really look forward to. Some of them are really competitive and they want to be out there in the contest. And my goal was to provide the opportunity for each and every club member, even though they were not competitive, to experience speech contest. And both the times, once in each 6-month term, we had the contest and they were well attended. As an area governor, it was very important for me to be learning as I was moving. And that is why my goal was to attend each and every decum. And the way I do it is that I go there, even though I may or may not have anything to do, I just go and actively listen so that I can understand what the district needs, what can I take home as a learning experience from the decum. So I have attended all the decums, but here and there because of personal commitments somewhere else, but I attended all the decums during my term. It was very important for me to be active at the district level, so I made sure that our clubs were aware of all the district level events that were happening, like the district conference, the TLI, the speech contest. So I actually went for both the district conference and made sure that I could bring how many ever with me to attend the district conference as well as the TLI. Last but not the least is the area council meeting. These meetings are held in Fremont every month, no matter what. We gather together with my action team, which includes our club president and the club vice presidents. During the earlier part of the term, I designated Wednesday of the month, every last Wednesday of the month, to hold these area council meetings so that there's no confusion about when, what, where. We had a designated time, we had a designated place to meet, so everyone in the action committee knew, okay, ACM is coming, so I always had participation from each and every club. With that working plan, I am going to be presenting the results. Now, these results are the quantifiable results in the form of DCP, that is the Distinguished Club Program, and most of are familiar with that. This is something that we see every now and then. I have some samples of it because this is what we talk about during our ACMs. We started with barely anything, and at the end we came to a situation where all of our goals were achieved. So this is a progressive development of the DCP. As you can see, our clubs have done well. South Bay Toastmasters has achieved the distinguished level. Now, those of you who do not know South Bay has been in existence for about 14 years, but they have never been distinguished. This year was a great year because they have achieved 5 of their goals some of the time, but their challenge was to get 20 members. Why? Because they are a corporate club, they meet during lunch hour. They had a lot of problems getting new members. But we managed to get 18 members. That was the 5 above the base that they had started during the term, and that was the biggest achievement for the club as well as for me during the term. Seagate RMO Club, I will talk about this club a little bit later. CBC Toastmaster Club is a community-based club. They meet on Saturday mornings from 10:45 to 11:15. It's a much more elaborate meeting with, just like TLC here. So it's a more committed club, so they didn't have any problem doing their DCP. Soaring Eagles is a student university-based club. They have had their own struggles, however, with the guidance that one of our distinguished members in Area 29, they have achieved the select distinguished status this year. DigiTalkers is another club that is a corporate club. Again, they meet during lunchtime. They have their own struggles. However, they managed to get select distinguished status as well. And finally, we have a new club, and I'll talk to you about that new club soon. So, in all, looks great to me. There is no doubt that we were able to achieve the President's distinguished status for this area, Area 29. And I looked back, how much ever I could go back, and I didn't find Area 29 being President distinguished. This is the first time that Area 29 has achieved the President distinguished status. Seagate, my challenges. Let's talk about my challenges. Last time when I was here talking about working the plan, I talked about 2 big issues that I wanted to bring. One was a club called Seagate Club, which is a corporate club. They meet at lunchtime, and they had from visits that I had made, I learned that they had a different culture. That's the first time I visited them, I talked to the active members that were there, and at the end of my talk, I was asked, can we be left alone? From the beginning of my term, as soon as I took charge, I have been starting to send a lot of emails about TLI, about officers training, about all the events I could possibly get them engaged. I think they were overwhelmed with all my emails. Never would I receive any response from them, but when I went there and met them, that's the question they asked. Can we please be left alone? Sure. I didn't say anything, of course. I did say sure. And I basically wanted to take some time, think back, and come back to them when I had a concrete plan to work on. I did. The entire 6-month terms passed, and I had to make the second visit. And I was trying to get in touch with them again, and I tried to contact them. No one would respond. There was no way I could even get any response from them, either in the form of email or phone or whichever way I would try. No response from them. So I was almost on the verge of giving up. However, I was not going to give up. So I contacted the district level officers, Jean, and I asked them, can I have some information about this club? What is the history of this club? Who was the mentor? Who was the charter? Who were the charter members? And all that information, but nothing came out. Well, I kept calling them, and one day somebody actually answered that phone call. Poor member must have got tired of my phone calls. So she finally responded, and she said, yeah, come on, come to the club. So I was so excited, and I did schedule my visit. I visited them. At that point of time, they were a little relaxed. They were a little bit welcoming. However, they didn't ask me the question, can we be left alone? They were responsive when I gave them the list of activities that they could possibly do to gain some DCP points. They didn't say no, but they say, yes, we will try. And so I kept giving them the information. I knew who were the 2 members who had to finish their CC. They had almost finished all the CC speeches, but not had submitted. So one of the members had never kept a manual, had never had any evaluation reports. So it was very hard for him to go back and find his speech information, even to submit. So I kept persuading him to find a way, go back and find his manual and get at least any information that he could possibly get to submit. But I tried until the end, and it never happened. However, the person who I was talking to did say, thank you at the end. Thank you for helping me. I'm sorry I couldn't do it, but thank you for helping me. More importantly, I would like to highlight not the quantitative TCP goals. I was hoping to show you some other not quantitative but qualitative activities that I've had. Speech contest was very actively attended. I had every responsible member. I had every role filled from members from Area 29. I didn't have to go out of Area 29 to fill any of the roles for speech contest. We were very successful. One of our club members was at the district level speech contest and won 2nd place in the speech contest. We had our first DTM in Area 29, and that was Robert Kaiser. We had a great celebration, and we actually spent some time honoring him and understanding making other Toastmasters understand what DTM is all about. Our new club that we started was City Speech Toastmaster Club. We had a demo meeting on 14th of Jan, and we met in City Beach several times. But this club has a challenge that it is not able to keep the location. So one day we actually met in a brewing location.
8 o'clock in the morning. 8 o'clock in the morning.
One day we actually met outside, and that was my first ever outdoor Toastmaster meeting. So all in all, we had a great year. I think I would love to talk more and more, but what are my lessons learned? That's where I want to come to. Leadership, for me, it's a totally elevated level of leadership that I experienced this time. It is the concept of having a vision, mission, and the core values. That was newly found and newly realized concept as a leader. With all the activities, I think now Area 29 is a very lively place. It's a lively, active area. About myself, what did I learn? I think I learned that I am more of a service-based leader, and I believe in earned power. The biggest compliment that I received was from one of our Toastmaster members whom I had encouraged to take up a role, and he said, after the speech contest, he said, Mary, I did it for you because I knew that if you entrust me a responsibility, you will carry me up to the level that you want me to see. The take-home lesson, or any leadership role that I have realized that whatever you do, you have to put yourself out there, heart and soul, and all of yourself. So I would love to try this HPL outside of Toastmasters. Toastmasters has been a wonderful experience. It's a great stepping stone, but I would like to take this challenge beyond Toastmasters. Moving on, our new area governor for Area 29 is George Marshall. He is a DTM, and I have already had a conversation, a meeting with him where I have given him all the information that I have gathered on a silver platter, and I'm hoping that things will go to the next level for Area 29. With that, I can take any questions and answers. Any
I know A29 very well. I served as division governor.
Yes, you did.
And so there was a lot of building blocks, and I'm so pleased to see how you've taken A29 from a struggling level that when Ilma was the area governor there to where it is today. President's distinguished. Congratulations on that. You mentioned frequent club visits, and but you didn't use the operative word. I want to ask you, do you think the frequent visits helped you build the relationships with the club?
Yes.
Okay, I wish you would have spoke to that, because that would have been cool. That's important to know.
Yes.
The other thing, the other question I had here was, you came back and circled around to the first project of the HPL, and that is understanding leadership. One of the premise of the 6 dimensions of leadership. You used 3 words, and I want to repeat them and let you know that I think these are key. Service-based leader. So I want to applaud you for that, for bringing that up. I'm trying to decide on the questions. Can you explain what the minimum goals are for Distinguished and what the goals were? Do you remember them?
For the area?
For the area to become President's Distinguished.
Yes, I think the minimum is to get 50% of the club base, which is the club base members.
Clubs.
Clubs. That is what the minimum is. And to become presidents, I think you have to add a new club, or more club to the area. We didn't lose any club, that was great, but we added one. Yay.
Yay.
Any more questions? Did I answer your question?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Any more questions? Tyreek?
Yeah, one, Eddie touched on it. At the very beginning, the very first presentation you do is your leadership graph, and I was really hoping that you were gonna share
Yes.
the before and after.
Yes.
What was, do you have that?
I do have it,
Okay.
and there is a reason why I didn't touch it. The thing that I talked about during my final summary is that I learned a lot. In my earlier presentation, I said that I believe that I have the required qualities of a great leader in Toastmasters, but when I look at outside of Toastmasters, my qualities are still underdeveloped. And from the summary, I think you must have gauged that I wanted to elevate my leadership skills by stepping outside my comfort zone, which is, of course, Toastmasters is really comfortable, but I would like to step it up to a challenging environment that is something beyond Toastmasters. And that's where I still need to work on it. That's where I still need to elevate. So my leadership skill in Toastmasters was great in the beginning and it's still great, but I would like to step it up beyond what I'm.
I got a quick follow-up question. So is the HPL an effective tool?
It wasn't a very effective tool because I understood the concept of mission, and core values. And I can apply that wherever, whichever leadership role I undertake in the future. Any more questions? Justin?
You thought about what your next project is outside?
Not yet. That's where the break is, that's why the break is, I have taken a break this year and I would like to use that time to really think, develop, and put myself to a great service opportunity. Whatever I can. Any more questions?
Not really a question, but just kind of a continuation of what Justin said, is that it doesn't have to be a year-long project.
It doesn't
It can
have-
certainly be something
Yes.
smaller, so if you find something that you think challenges you
Yes,
and comes across your way,
yes,
you could certainly take this tool
yes.
and use it in the same way, but in a shortened version of
Sure.
it. So
Thank
don't
you.
feel like it has to be something
Yeah.
that's another year-long project.
Yes, definitely.
Unless you don't want me to sign off.
Definitely. Any more questions? No? All right, so I'm going to think,
We'll wrap it up.
okay. Do I do it right before the evaluation? After?
Now.
Before?
Now.
All right, so I would like to thank Terry Johnson and Steve today, who actually presented this area governorship as HPL project at one of the decans that I was, and that's how this whole idea, concept came up. I would also want to thank Eddie Cater and Todd Henry, who actually presented the training for area governor, that which made the concept very clear. I understood why area governors should be there in between the club and the district level. Thank you to Toastmaster Leadership Club. Thank you to Justin Lola, who helped me get in here and bring me here right in front of you to be able to talk. Thank you TLC for offering all your suggestions, asking me questions, and giving your valuable feedback as evaluations. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Because we're running out of time, I would like to call on the evaluation. Randy.
You don't want to do the event? Do we need 2 minutes? Anybody? Okay.
No. Because it's already 8:10.
Mary, fellow Toastmasters. Your presentation today was very timely, simply because several of us are either new AGs here or DGs. And some of us are also considering using the HPL program this year. So you gave us an example of how to apply that program. First of all, I would like to compliment you on your visuals. I found them to be very be different but interesting, easy to follow. Your vision, your mission, and your core statements were well thought out and easy to follow. I would like to compliment you also on the new club that you had founded in your area. Some of the areas that I would encourage you to take a look at for improvement are, you seemed a little anxious to get started. You were so anxious that Joan was in the middle of her presentation and you were messing with the projector. And if somebody had asked her a question to go back, she would have been lost. And I don't think that's fair.
I own that. She kind of gave me a look too, for permission.
That don't save you at all.
Actually, last time I was here, there was a time delay because I was trying to set my laptop. There was a time delay. I just wanted to avoid that,
I understand.
and that's what I did. After I removed her plug, I realized that, oh no, if somebody asks a question, Joanne is going to be in trouble, and I wanted to.
And more than that, it was distracting, at least to me.
Yeah, I
I don't think that was fair.
I know who that.
A side note, do not comment on your evaluators years in Toastmasters. At least not before I evaluate. Seriously, I also noticed that at times you were fumbling for folders or handouts.
It's my visual needs.
You know, and that's fair. I understand that they can add value to your presentation. Either you want to stage them so that you can easily get to them, or put them on your view graph, or just leave them alone, or pass them out later. But it kind of threw you off a little bit, but you stayed focused. Can you tell me a little bit about how the different areas that you cited as an AG that were important to you, everything from attending the DECMs to your area council meetings, how does that translate into the DCP success of your clubs?
My presence at the DECM basically gave me an understanding of what the district wants,
Okay,
where the district is struggling, what is district looking forward to.
okay,
And I could translate that resource, information, back to my club through the area council meeting.
okay.
And I did that every month. I always emphasized on DCP because the district needs DCP. I emphasized on timely information, putting in all the information on the TI. So all that, it has a due date, has a deadline. So I have to get the resources and information to them.
Would you say that being a distinguished area was one of your goals?
No, it was, yes, not an area, but I think my goal was to have all the clubs in my area at least be a distinct club,
That's close.
which would have given the area a distinct size. But
And then
my eyes were on the clubs.
one area that I would also caution you on improvement is that I believe you went over on your time
Yes, I did.
significantly. The HBL chair requirements, did they change drastically between last year and this year?
Not drastically.
Okay, so they were well within line with what we're talking about. Then congratulations on your HBL completion. What did you learn from your challenge? You did talk about being able to step back and let the club do whatever they wanted to do, and then you came back in due time. What is the significant learning lessons there?
Step back.
Well, the club asked you to leave them alone, but ultimately became successful.
Well, CK Toastmaster, what I learned from them is that they are not functioning as a Toastmaster club. They are functioning just as a club.
Okay.
They meet at lunchtime. It's a corporate club. They meet at lunchtime, but they do not necessarily have manual speeches. Somebody might step a bit late and give a speech, but they do not have. No one had a manual at that time. No one actually had signed up to be a prepared speech. I was the only prepared speaker at that time. So they do not, what I learned was that they do not function as a Toastmaster club. They function just as a club, as a get together to have lunch, because lunch is provided free during that time. So it is just a way to get together.
So as a leader, you learn.
I understood the club, that's what I want to say, because that information was not there with me before I came in as an area governor. But that 1 year, I think I understood that this is how this club functions.
All right, so I've over exceeded my time. I just want to congratulate you on your
Thank
HBL. Remember, it's a journey. You can do it several more times. You can do it as a division governor. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We will have a 5-minute break. Thank you.
Just bypass that tonight.
Well, I guess, you know what, we got paper here.
Right.
Yeah.
We got paper, I'll.
Erudite.
A paper will be passed, and you have to choose between the two presenters, which one is the better of the other one. And it will be passed. At this time, I would like to call Tyree Johnson again to lead the table topics. Please give him a hand.
Thank you, Marcy. Yeah, it's been so long since I've been up here. Tonight, table topics will be a little different, and let me give you some of the background, particularly for our guests who are here. First thing is you're encouraged to use the word of the day so you can qualify to be voted as the top table topic presenter, erudite, which means scholarly. Also, know that you also have to qualify on the time, so speak for a minimum of 1 minute. You see the green, and you can't exceed 2.5 minutes, but by the time you see the red, you're at the 2-minute mark, and there's 30-second grace period. Today's table topics, though, are basically pro or con. Are you for or against it? Please explain why. I'll have to say that these questions will increase in difficulty. So get in while the getting's good early on. So round 1, I'm gonna take a volunteer.
Obi.
Allison. Yeah. Go on and give a round of applause. Thank you, Allison, for your enthusiastic energy. Yeah. Today, Batman is 75 years old. So, do you prefer the 60s TV show or the Dark Knight movies?
Pro and con, I'm not sure I understand.
Which one do you prefer?
Okay. Hello, Toastmasters and guests. Thank you for coming. I have to say that I never watched TV when I was a kid growing up, so I don't know that much about the Batman shows on TV, other than what little clips I've seen as an adult. So I'm definitely going to pick the Batman movies, The Dark Knight, and all those fabulous, well-directed films, because they were dark, and they were powerful, and they had a moral, and they did some amazing erudite kinds of studied thought in how they structured the scripts for these films. They were really, really well done. And I don't like a bunch of violent, bloody films normally. But I thought that these films were fantastically well directed. The characters are well developed. They were interesting. The pacing was incredible. Have you guys seen these movies? You're looking at me like, oh, that's so boring and bloody. I couldn't watch it. They were really well acted. Quite the right amount of visual effects. It wasn't just an effecty movie. And fabulous stunts. Really fabulous stunts. So I definitely choose the Batman movies. And I encourage you to see them.
So no power zip zoomies for you. Huh?
All right, I forgot about those.
And the ballots are going around from this side.
That's
Oh.
two, right?
Jason?
I'm doing the
I'm
countdown.
going? No. You get the next question. Sorry. Come on up.
One for speaker.
Sales tax on soda. Is it good or bad or kind?
Me myself personally, I do not drink any soda, but I am a erudite to beverages and taxes. And I feel like you should not be taxing people for drinking a soda. Every day we all drink and consume something that is bad for us. We all might go to our healthy place for a nice salad. But what do you put on top of your salad? Ranch. Ranch is the worst thing you can put on your salad, and that's going to kill you because you're going to have clog your arteries. Or next thing you know, what are they going to tax next? Your candy? Are they going to tax your pastrami at Togo's, even when you order without the bread and the salad? Taxing is enough. Until you tax major corporations for their taxes on their offshore accounts, do not tax the average American just because he wants a soda and relax and have it with the Crown and Coke. That's the only way I drink mine. Because all of us, every once in a while, need some type of sugar in our life. And Coke and Pepsi has been throughout the United States as one of the beverages of choice, ever since the 1800s in Atlanta, Georgia. So it should not be that Americans, as citizens, should be taxed for having an American tradition. It's like getting taxed for apple pie or a hamburger, fresh one, from Solus, or from Trueburg, or anywhere else. So no, I don't agree with it. And I think we should tax major corporations, not the average man, for just having a soda on a Sunday afternoon with a Crown Royal. Thank
Pepsi and a smile for him. Steve, come on up.
Thank you, area died one.
Oh, man. The Randy Ellington response is that doesn't save you. He's been hot lately. Okay.
Blankton.
Yeah, it doesn't save you. Response to the illegal immigrant children on the border. Should we secure the borders or welcome strangers inside our gates?
To begin with, I want to talk about different ways you can use words. I've been thinking about this ever since Randy gave his evaluation or had the discussion with Mary. And the two different ways you can say, I understand. Mercy could be up here as a Toastmaster, and she could say, I got a flat tire on the way over here, that's why I was late. And then I could say, I understand. That was pretty rough, and I'm glad you came. Randy could talk about Mary fiddling with her equipment while Joan was doing her presentation. She'll talk about the problems with the equipment that she had the last time, and Randy will say, I understand. Same two words, it just right between the eyes. So I wanted to talk about that first, but the immigration, it's such a tough one because the children are, you can't take it out on the children. There's just no way you can do that. So if you have thousands and thousands of children in need, you've got to do something. They didn't sign up for any of it. And you have to take the initiative and do something with it. So that said, the borders have to be secure. And it just has to be done in an organized way. We're all a nation of immigrants. My grandfather came here in 1922. He turned 18 on the boat coming over from Italy. Got to Ellis Island. They sent him to Jerome, Arizona, because that's where there was gonna be work for him, and he went there and he worked, and that was that. If he'd have gotten off the boat in Ellis Island and coughed the wrong way, they'd have sent him back, thinking he might be bringing tuberculosis or something over here. Then you look at how close Mexico is, and the economy is so different down there than it is up here. And I think, is immigration what we need to do, or is there something we can do to make the economy better in Mexico? And if the economy is better in Mexico, how would that affect the crime in Mexico? So there's just so many things around, but the bottom line is, you asked about the kids, and whatever you do, you can't take it out on the kids. So if there's a bunch of children on the border, they have to be taken care of in a humane way. And that's probably getting them over here to where they're safe. Mr. John?
Thank you, Steve.
You understand?
Yes. Quite erudite explanation here. It's the last one. I'm just gonna. All of them. Ooh. I'll just say, you'll see for yourself. The Catholic Church is among several organizations that are opposing medical birth control in their health plans. Religious freedom versus women's rights. Pro or con?
Fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, this is a sensitive subject because I could offend anyone with whatever comment I made. I did not grow up Roman Catholic, and I am not a Roman Catholic now. I did grow up with a religious background, but I'm not involved in that now. But I do have personal beliefs about the rights of women to control what goes on with their body. So in that sense, I believe that it is the right of any woman to make that decision without being interfered with by outside organizations or even people trying to convince them otherwise. To have a religious organization mandate that the control of your body is not up to you by way of saying that if you make that choice, that your insurance will not cover you if you're being paid by that organization, is a bit of a contradictory kind of a thing. But it is the organization's right, I would imagine, that's kind of the erudite thinking, is that it's up to them to make a decision how they want to control their health insurance. What I don't like to see is them then using that as leverage, as a hammer to control the lives of the people that work for them, especially if those people are not Catholic, but they just happen to work for that organization. So it can kind of go both ways, but I do still side on with the women to make a choice, their own individual choice, and not be overwhelmed or have someone else say that you can't do that.
I have time for one more.
Yeah, it should be done by 8:40.
Perfect.
Okay. One more. Actually, this one's going to be impromptu because I'm the king with 4. I didn't think I had enough time. So Ken, come on up.
So if they get tougher every time, then you can be a doozy.
Obamacare. Obamacare, is it effective?
Ooh.
Yeah, I think it's effective. I know several people that didn't have any health coverage, and now they can go and get medicine, prescriptions, and take care of themselves, so I think it is effective. It's hard to swallow, but it's a tough policy to start. But they did it, and it's happening, and I think it is a real benefit. I think overall, it's the first step in the right direction to having health care. I don't like the idea of penalizing people who don't sign up for it. I have some difficulty with that. I mean, I know somebody that can't sign up for it because they didn't do their tax return, because they can't prove for the health care people what they earn, and so for that reason they can't sign up. And so I don't know that that's a fair consequence, but overall I think it is a benefit.
I'll just wrap up. We had Allison giving her feedback on The Dark Knight. And 2, we had Jason talking about the sales tax. We'll see if you qualified using the word erudite correctly. Question on that. Thirdly, we had Steve on his take on the children at the border.
I want to talk about that, man.
Fourthly, we had
I've done good on that.
Paula advocating for women's rights. And lastly, we had Ken on his take on Obamacare. So yes, before we go any further, I'm going to ask Helen, our timer.
Allison at 1 minute 30 seconds, Jason 1:42, Steve overtime at 2:58, Paula at 2:15,
That was
Ken
that I
at
understand.
1:01.
Around our
Yeah.
101.
Okay.
So everyone except for Steve.
Everyone except for Steve.
Like, we get a speaker recap and an evaluator recap, just, did they qualify or not?
Of the okay, so for Joan, 11 minutes and 18 seconds, for Mary, and 19 minutes and 24. And the evaluation, both are qualified, oh no. For Joan, it's 5:21, that's qualified, Mary, it's 5:44.
Okay, so what evaluate, okay.
Okay. And with that, I'll return control of the meetings for.
So both speakers qualified?
Yes.
Word of the
Word of the
day.
day.
Oh.
In terms of the speakers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
None of the speakers use the word of the day.
All right. What about the table topic?
The table topics, Ken and Steve did not use the word of the day.
When I called them erudite one, that thing.
Yeah, I just think that would count.
Oh, he's overtime.
No.
Oh, he was
But I was overtime,
yeah.
So who
All right.
qualifies for table topics?
Allison, Jason, and me
Allison,
and Ken.
Jason, and Paula.
Yeah.
Okay, with that, I'm gonna return control to our most able Toastmaster, Mercy Del Rosario.
Are the ballots going? Where are the ballots going?
Ballots.
Table
Remember-
topics,
Where are
Master?
Table
Yes,
topics?
Yes, to Tyree.
to, Tyree.
Tyree.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's getting all the ballots?
Yes.
At this time, I would like to call Justine. How did we do with our meeting? Please give a round of applause for Justine.
Evening again. So we had I thought we had a fun meeting, a fun and enjoyable meeting, so thank you all for participating. There's a few areas that we did great and a few areas where we need a little help. But before I get to my report, I need to bring up or ask for my assistants to go through their reports. I think, Helen, you already pretty much went through your report already,
Yeah,
yes?
for the first evocation.
Okay. Go ahead for the ones you haven't covered yet.
Yeah, for Addie, 1 minute 34 seconds, and for invocation, Tyree, 1 minute and 39 seconds. And for the Q&A session, for 2 speakers, Joan at 11 minute 2 seconds, and for Mary, it's 5 minute 37 seconds.
Okay. Thank you, Helen. Madam Grammarian.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Joan some things I noticed, there were a couple repetitions of words, but they weren't excessive, like and or to kind of transition into your next sentence. However, a couple gems you had was, that was the wrong answer. And I like your use of the word club-centric. Paula, you had a couple run-on sentences, but I liked what you said when you said you didn't point at people with the hand clicker this time. Mary, you also used because as a transition for a couple run-on sentences, but it wasn't that excessive. And I liked your phrase, no Toastmaster left behind. Randy, at some points during your evaluation, there's a little bit of muttering that I couldn't understand, but you quickly recovered from it. And you put, I liked your use of the phrase, that doesn't save you at all. Allison, a gem I noticed from you was fabulous stuff. I like that. Jason, I liked when you said you can't, until you tax the corporate for their offshore accounts, you can't tax the common man. Steve, I liked your, for a gem, I liked that you can't take it out on the children. Paula, a gem of yours I noticed was when you said a woman should not be overwhelmed or told how to act. And then Ken, a gem of yours that I found was, well, they did it. We got it up there. So that's my report.
Thank you, Joy. Your report.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. We have a lot of bait and switch in this room. That is where you start a sentence, stop, pause, and then you come back with a whole new thought. Guilty of that charge would be Mary, would be our Lieutenant Governor of Marketing, Steve, several times.
Well, marketing's always
I
been
counted
this.
5.
So I'm
Then you're living up to the job.
Perfect.
Then we also have some people who rely on the ums quite a bit. Joy.
Yeah.
Who else is guilty of that? Steve. You also like to sew things together.
When I'm grasping for
Ken! My liege, King of the Oz. Paula, you have a habit of so with that and but. And on your table topics, you were going so good, and I was going to compliment you on that. Then you hit the but, and there was this pause, and that killed it for you. And then you came in with a couple bait and switches on that. Mary, just one other thing that I don't know if the grammarian caught this. I was the only prepared speech. I was the only prepared speaker, Mr. General Evaluator. That is my report.
And then as general evaluator, do I have a time I need to
2 to 3 minutes like an evaluator.
2 to 3 minutes? That doesn't include your reports.
No.
All right. So we started our meeting a couple minutes late. And I think that's because Gene wasn't here and we were sort of scrambling to put things together. So we just need to be aware of the starting time. I like that our Toastmaster started with the topic, the listen, learn, and lead. So a good explanation of that. I thought you could have told us what the open rules were. That would have helped, I think, everyone to update their agenda. We were missing forms, we were missing cables, we were missing a couple other items. We were able to grab the timing colors there. I was able to grab a cable, so we improvised. So good job in improvising, although I think maybe we need a third packet here, just in case. The high performance leadership evaluation forms, we're not here. So we need to make sure that we have those. That'll help in writing evaluations for our speakers. As far as introductions for our HPLs, in the second HPL speaker, you did very well in telling us what they were going to present. I believe in the first one, that wasn't covered. So we were sort of wondering what Jones was going to be about. So I was a little bit going, what is this going to be? Oh, never mind. Evaluators, I thought you did well, Paula and Randy. The one thing I would say for Randy for improvement is when the HPL person has time on their Q&A, ask them the questions then versus on the evaluation, because on the evaluation, you took the entire time and there wasn't any time for others to give feedback. So that would have been a better use of your time. Tyree, excellent job on table topics. I like how you summarized in the beginning. And I like how you summarized in the end. So, good opening body and conclusion. Excellent job. I thought we had a lot of fun. I thought some areas went a little long. On the HPLs, those are 20 minutes. We've agreed as a group that that should be 20 minutes. It could be 10-10. It could be 15-5. That's what it is. There is no wrap-up at the end. The wrap-up is part of the 15 or the 10. 20 minutes is it. That's it, guys. Okay, there's no additional 5-5-5. All right, so I just want to make sure everyone knows that. And the evaluation is 5 minutes at the end. And that's pretty much standard. So, great job, guys, and look forward to additional meetings going forward. Men Toastmasters. All right.
Should I announce this? I will.
Yeah, just when we close. I'll bring you up to
Okay.
announce.
And now it's time for our president-elect to come on the lectern for you.
He's the
Please help me welcome.
President-elect.
He's the president.
Is the president.
Yeah.
Please welcome him.
Dun, 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 dun. Ladies and gentlemen, I neglected to welcome our guests. You're going to do this. Joan? I neglected to recognize, and I want to thank Justin for doing that, our dignitaries. We have dignitaries in Toastmasters, beginning with our Lieutenant Governor of Marketing, and that's Steve today. Our Division Governor, Randy Blingington. Visiting us, and hopefully a new member, the area governor from B18? E18. Forrest Tam? Sam. Forrest Sam.
Yeah!
And our very own area governor, Jason Matthews.
Yeah!
And leaving on such a high note, and I won't sing it, as President's oh wait, no, I'm sorry, one other dignitary. And you're right, I did forget one other. Beginning the year as Division F governor is our own Joan
Funkhauser.
Holy wow!
And our public relations
But I
officer.
forgot about our own district public relations officer, Justin Lola. I know, I got the past district governors, Tyree Johnson. Past district governor, Paula Foster.
And our webmaster.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm the district webmaster. Woohoo! But that's not a dignitary. I'm just
It
one of
isn't
the
my
foot
fault.
soldiers.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, Paula, you have 2 minutes to line us up for our next meeting. Paula Foster, our vice president.
Thank you very much. Remember, next week's meeting is going to be a really special meeting. We are going to take and give ourselves an opportunity to evaluate our club and where we want it to go in the future. So we are going to be doing 3 different things to accommodate that. We are going to have a new member induction. So if you were a new member in the last couple of weeks, please come. We will induct you into the club. We're going to have new officer installation, and I believe Jason, our D30 area governor, will be installing the new set of club officers. And more importantly, we're going to be having Eddie and Justin do a Moments of Truth presentation for the club. This is that opportunity for us to really look at where our club is now and where we want it to be in the future. We are also going to be having a little bit of food, so a potluck, and I believe that Helen passed around that. So please, if you attend the meeting, please bring something. It can be food, drink, or accessory pieces to help us out so that we all participate in that. I have passed this around, and I apologize for the handwritten stuff. My printer has gone on the blink. And so what I will be looking at is if I don't see a note that says that you are not going to be attending a meeting on a particular day, I'm going to assume that you're going to be here, and you might find yourself signed up for a role in here, and I will get these, I'm going to take these back. Now that I've got the months or the weeks set up, I'll start filling these in. Let me know if you can't attend.
Who's our Toastmaster next week?
Our Toastmaster, actually, I thought that you and Justin were going to be heading that up, but we will need a Toastmaster for next week, so if there's someone.
Helen.
Helen? Okay.
Woohoo! Thank you, Helen!
Thank you very much. And then we need a general evaluator, a timer, and an odd counter, and somebody to do table topics. So
I
that's,
thought we were going to forego
The
the
table?
functionaries.
okay.
And just
No timer, no odd counter, no grammarian, but
But-
generally, oh, no, we do want a timer
timer and table topics.
and table topics. So no odd counter, no grammarian. Yes? What?
Can I be table topics?
Yes. Table topics.
Remember me, Bob, I didn't call
I'll
you.
do the timer.
Okay,
And Mercy.
Reward that. Save me.
Timer next.
okay. And then a general evaluator. The other thing is we've got the speech contest coming, and I know people signed up on the list that I sent around last week, but I don't know which contest you're interested in. So please let me know. And right on the back of here, before you leave tonight, just write your name in. Yes.
You saw that I was gonna go ahead and share that?
Yes, I did. So Justin will be the chairperson for that. We will need a Toastmaster and a timer. Those are the two functionaries that we need for that contest. But we will be having one each HPL. Suhan will be coming down, or no, doing
Google Hangout.
a visual, or
Google Hangout.
a Google Hangout. So we'll need an evaluator for her.
Oh, we're not next week.
No, the 13th,
Oh,
the 13th.
great. Thank you very much, Paula! As a recap, the potluck information will come out by email. Can you follow up on email? And Helen will be sending out an email to all of our members, and we'll make sure that you're included on that as well, Justin, so that you're here to join us.
Jason.
Jason, where did I get Justin?
Downstairs.
Yeah.
The club has put together a backup kit. In the backup kit are evaluation forms, the functionary role forms, that is, our odd counter, our grammarian form, our timers form, timing cards, the whole thing. And it was our Vice President of Public Relations volunteered to carry this each and every week. And guess who's not here tonight? Our Vice President of Public Relations. Woohoo! So we will have a second backup kit just for these type of occasions. I want to thank you all for being that flexible and recognizing the fact that we were without the important tools, but we had the important people. And this is what made the club, this is what makes our club, this is what makes Toastmasters, this is where leaders are made, and you proved that tonight. I want to thank you. Last but not least, information.
No, I have a question.
Yes,
Do we
ma'am.
get to hear from our guests what they?
That's point number 5 on my list here.
My favorite part of it.
Yes, yes. Before I come back to circle around to our guests, no, I lost my, okay, lost it. That's okay. Oh, I do want to offer to all of our members that when we present, we assume that everyone understands acronyms. This is a case of getting to know your audience. Do not assume everybody is swimming in acronym soup. Okay? example, Joy, and I'm sure Bob, I'm not sure about anyone else, but DCP, what is that hairy beast? DCP, Distinguished Club Program. This is a chance for us to look at certain goals, not points, goals that look at the club's education, membership involvement, and the officers' duties and responsibilities. Other things like, DECM. I'm sorry, I'm not picking on you. But it's so easy to say DECM because it's in our brain and this is what we do. But the DECM is DEC. The M is meeting. The DEC, the District Executive Council. This club has an executive council. It's the 7 officers that you elected. The district has an executive council. That is our district governor, our lieutenant governor of education, our lieutenant governor of marketing, our public relations officer, all the division governors, all 7 of them, all 32 area governors are the district executive council. And they meet monthly. That's the DECM. So we're done with the alphabet soup. I'd like to hear from our visitors. Let's start with our D30 area governor, Jason. Couple of words. Right there's fine.
Great meeting. I learned a lot. Love your presentation. It helps. I got wrote down a note, so you saw me write down everything I ever know. I'm a technology guy with the cell phone. But a great thing. You guys really got me pumped up to go back to my 2 clubs right now and do some work tonight for Toastmasters.
Excellent.
Oh yeah, thank you so much. Makeup training. We'll pull it up right here. It is on July 26th. Hold on. 20. Oh, open up the pen. It's July 29th, 6 to 9 at East Bay Mud. Please be part of it, for we can all become distinguished clubs. And matter of fact, we want to push you guys to be president distinguished this year. So please come out if you haven't made it up for all your officers, all 7 of you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, right. 7.
Forrest, one more time, you're a repeat guest.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. President. It's a pleasure being here. I learned a lot from both the presenters, and I'm also working on the HBR project itself, so I have some questions after the meeting. And I look forward to forming a new mutually supportive relationship with the club. Thank you.
Excellent. Great. Thank you very much. Mr. Ken, you're a repeat visitor. Why don't you give us 30 seconds real quick?
I think this is a great club. I think there's a lot of leaders here. And I was going to ask you guys if you wanted to consider doing a video series of best practices that other clubs could look at as a model.
That's something
If they're gonna buy it.
Did we get the practice before?
Hey, this
Well, depends on the demand.
Let's take that one offline. And last but not least, returning member as guest, Mary, a couple words.
Returning member as member.
She's becoming a member again. She's renewing.
She's renewing?
You renewed?
How do you want me to want to hear the comment from me?
Sure. How about, I'm back. No.
Thank you, I should say this. Thank you to each one of you for providing me the opportunity to come here and just present my HPL so that your experience, your valuable feedback provides that supportive environment for me to.
Excellent. Great. Thank you very much, Mary. Last thing. Who are our best speakers?
Hear from Steve?
Oh gosh, it's just Steve.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
It's just
Mr.
Steve.
Lieutenant Governor Markey. Steve, 30 seconds, please.
30 I had a great time tonight. I really enjoyed listening to Mary and Joan on their high performance leadership, and then Tyree, you challenged us on the table topic, so it was fantastic. It was a real challenge. And I've talked to Tyree about this, and I'd like to talk to everybody about this. I'm planning on making my Lieutenant Governor of Marketing a high performance leadership project. And Tyree and I have talked about some of the nuts and bolts one-on-one, but if there's an opening, do you do the HPL on the 2nd and 4th?
Second
Yes.
and fourth week, yes.
Okay, I'm thinking with the convention and some other stuff going on, I would like to maybe do the 4th Wednesday of September if there's an opening.
Schedule that with Paul.
Okay, yeah,
Okay,
but
why don't you guys
I
work
would
that
love
out?
to have your help on this.
Sure.
And that would be fantastic.
Absolutely, sure.
Yeah.
We
Thanks.
welcome it. All right. Now it's time to hear our winners and go home. Paula, oh, you want me to do this? Okay. Best speaker. Oh, it's not Randy. Mary, please stand. Come right here. Our best evaluator, Paula. Holy smokes, check out this new winner. For table topics, it's Jason. Can I get a picture of our Toastmaster with our winners here, please? And we are adjourned, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for coming.
Policy. Cheese. No one ever since I graduated poli sci knows any of this.
I have to eat the first one with the softball.
Allison, you are scheduled.
No, maybe 2 months ago, the cover of the